What's up, guys and girls? Kurt here. I hope you're well. And today I want to chat with you a little bit about the challenges that we find ourselves faced with as NFT creators. Now, this is for you, but I'm going to share my experience as well, my challenges, as well as an issue that I see in the industry. So let's get started. But before we do, remember, this is not any financial advice of any type. I'm not no financial advisor. I'm not an NFT expert, although I have all intentions to be in the long term. Myself and my team are really focused on what we do, and that's NFT creation, and there's a lot more to it. And we're going to be doing this for many, many, many years, and I hope you will be as well. Now, getting straight to it, first of all, the issue that I see in the industry, and honestly, it's starting to really kind of like tick me off, because every time I'm on Twitter or Facebook or something, I just see in these groups are meant to be, and these pages are meant to be to share information and show people value, right? But it tends to be, here's 5,555 uniquely minted cats, or here's 3,333 gorillas, monkeys, or apes. So everyone's just copying each other. It looks like, first of all, the art's all looking the same. Okay, all these new projects coming out, it's either a monkey or a gorilla or a baboon, okay, or a chimpanzee. And then next, there's no story. It's like there's no backstory. You go to these pages or you see these things come out, and you know, typically a NFT influencer, NFT promoter, right, is doing one after the next, and it's just all the same. And then you go along to their Twitter page and you see that that's their first post, 5,555 uniquely minted cats, and that's it. Okay, now we can see that this is just greed, and people who think that they can just come in and come up with this simple idea, right? I could come up with 50 different ones right now in about 2 seconds, right? Just name a whole bunch of pets for that matter, and they think that they're just going to make millions through this process. You know, they're the weak hands in crypto. I call them the gamblers. They just come in there, you know, follow the fads, and you know, never really stick around because they don't have the discipline for it. And these guys are going to get burnt. And as a result of me seeing so much of this, I've decided to delay our project, okay? Because I think the market, especially with the current market crash, is just sort of like affecting people's minds even more. Okay? There's stupidity in the market, but there's like absolutely super stupidity right now. So anyway, so first issue, you need to add value to your product. You need to have a backstory. You know, maybe spend a couple of weeks like showing us what you're doing, right? And that's another thing that I've decided on my project. See, I think a lot of people are thinking about protecting their story, protecting their NFT. So they feel like they have to just come out with it, right? And then from there tell the story. And I understand that. I was really caught up in, I don't want anyone to find out, you know, like not until we're ready. But I see the traps there. The traps are you can come out with some marketing and it's the same as everyone else. It's a trap. So as a result, I've decided that we're going to start sharing our development from the beginning. And initially when I thought that, I thought, oh dear, you know, someone can come out and copy us. But you know what? Come out and copy us. I don't care. You know, someone would take that as flattery, if anything, if they're copying us. And that said, I'm in it for the long term. So if you're going to come out and copy, fine. I've got so many ideas. My team has got so many ideas. We're ahead of you by 30 years, man. So even if you copy, that's fine. That's not a problem. Okay? And that's really my point. Some of these people, they're just the weak hands. They're going to get crushed. They're going to give up because they can't deal with it. We can deal with it. And if you really want to succeed in the NFT market and you see yourself doing it in the long term, then never give up. Ever, ever, ever. Now, moving on, some of the other challenges that we're having are really more internal challenges. Number one, we started creating the NFT project. We felt that it was well planned. But I can tell you now that the planning needs to be expanded, and that's my point here. Basically, we started to create the artwork, but we didn't consider all the marketing and the support material that we need. And we didn't consider a few things. Like, it all seemed all well and good in the beginning. I mean, it's just like a normal project, okay? And I've managed a lot of projects in my life. Now, basically, the issue is what you don't know, okay? So just because I've created web development, like some web projects in the past, it's what you don't know. And what I've found here is what I wish I did, and what we're coming back to now is to just go back to start working on the logo, the marketing material, the information needed for Twitter and for Facebook and stuff. I recommend that you get into like scheduling and plan all your content ahead of time. And that way you're not the guy who's like, oh, I've got an idea, and no one likes it. You can start to focus on finding influencers, helping people to help you grow your channels, okay? And ultimately have more of a backstory. So we are now taking a step back, creating the logo. You're going to see it behind me soon, okay? We're going to have it on the wall. It's going to look amazing. I'm going to tell you the story. And we're going to be sharing our story with you. So rather than just come out and say, hey man, here's our NFT, buy it now, you know, we're going to tell a story. And that's what you should be doing. That's what everyone should be doing. And the creators who are telling a story and sharing a little bit of their development as they go along, okay, and putting some personal touch to it, you're the guys, you're the girls who are going to succeed or are already succeeding. And our success doesn't necessarily have to be measured by how many sales we make. That's definitely a figure, like that's definitely something to consider. But initially, coming into the market like myself, a success for me is perfecting this process, seeing what works, what doesn't work. So you've got to be really adaptive, be able to grow with it and evolve. Don't be stuck in your own ways. Some other issues that we're having around communication. Our team is primarily in Southeast Asia and in Australia. Now, obviously in Australia, it's all good. But sometimes when I'm communicating with the Filipinos, for example, you know, with some things are lost in translation on both sides. Okay, so it goes both ways. Now, what I've found helps with stuff like that is to draw pictures, to be patient, literally draw pictures. Sometimes that helps. Or even like we have a team meeting and everyone's like, right? And then you get to the end of it and you realize, you know, so one of the artists sends you something and you're like, nah, man, that's not what I mean. So first of all, draw a picture. Secondly, touch base with your team again. If you feel that things were a bit like lost in translation, I've found, you know, touching base with them again and just reiterating your point, saying it in different ways, figuring out ways to communicate with your team. Sometimes you need to like get underneath them, subjugate your ego a little bit. You know, you're in control, of course you are, but take a breath, relax. The culture's different. Okay, what you might perceive as rude or weird is not to them, and vice versa. So find a way to communicate. I guess what I'm trying to really get across today is to have a good plan, to really spend your time in your plan. Don't rush. Make sure that you've thought everything through, and at the same time, like, be willing for it to be adaptive. For a lot of the time, you're going to be like really fixed and firm, but when you recognize a challenge, face that challenge head on and pick a direction. I see far too many people going, nah, that's where I'm going. I'm just going there. And then there's like a bear in the middle and there's all these obstacles and it's like, that's where I'm going. And then they just keep walking into the bear or walking into the wall. Sometimes you could, like, there's that saying of sometimes, you know, you can't get around, blah, blah, so you go through. But other times you've got to recognize that you're just hitting a brick wall. So there's another approach. There is a way to get around it or under it or maybe even over it, okay? But you need to think and be adaptive, okay? And allow yourself to expand. And anyway, I'm going on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share. click on the subscribe button, click your notifications on. I'll be making more of these, and I'm really looking forward to when I'll be releasing more of our info into our project, which is coming really shortly. Okay, like I said, this wall behind me will be painted, and that will be kind of like the grounds for me to fly and talk with you about all this stuff. Thank you very much. Have a good one.